A deep dive into the grave pool. I'm Rebecca Lieb.
I'm Jason Horton.
And this is Ghost Town.
Fill your summer with action. Twist, turn, and burn action. And when it's hot, we've got the coolest action around, where you can swing, slide, and dive into crisp mountain water. This summer, catch the action at Action Park. There's nothing in the world like it.
That was a vintage commercial of Action Park. Did you have regional commercials where you're from that you, as a kid, just played all the time? They were kind of like low budget. Did you have a lot of that?
Oh my God, of course. Like in Milwaukee in the 90s, yeah. Like it was amazing. Like also like data technology. I mean, there were so many amazing ones.
Yeah, and then if you heard it again, you'd be like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
I had that, and if you were in the tri-state area, if you were in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Action Park was one of them. The marketing was so aggressive for Action Park. They were known for like a very aggressive, which I can respect, aggressive marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've ever, Ghost Town's marketing could be considered aggressive.
Yeah. Only if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Only if you like it.
Yeah, but if you don't like it, then it's not. It's not at all.
Trying,
We're not even trying. What?
Yeah.
What podcast?
Yeah.
It's not even. What is it even that?
Yeah.
And so I think it would be Action Park for me, and then there was a store called Crazy Eddie. Oh, you got to look up Crazy Eddie.
Oh man,
yeah.
This is gonna be a treasure. I already know I like this episode.
Crazy Eddie, and another one was when Cats at the Winter Garden Theater.
Yes,
so there was a lot.
I remember that. I didn't even live in that area.
So that's a very especially even in the tri-state area. But I think it's kind of like the commercials for Broadway were huge. Cats was probably one of the biggest ones, but Action Park was like relentless. And, when you're glued to the TV and you're seeing all these people having so much fun, it looks like a complete free-for-all because it was a free-for-all. Action Park is a notorious and has been notorious for being an absolute dangerous free-for-all.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to get into a little of that.
Yes.
It's going to get wet and wild.
Oh,
I guess
can't wait.
is what
Grab
I want to
your
say.
Party straws and your churros.
Yeah.
And
there's probably no churros.
Your life insurance.
I before moving to California, I never even heard of churros.
No?
No. There was no I think because I think in New York there I may have mentioned this, there wasn't a lot of, I'm not saying I wasn't keeping track, but I wasn't. It was mostly I would say Black and Puerto Rican, not as many Mexican people, but obviously moving to California, there was more. I just came across more Asian people and Mexican people, but the East Coast. So churros is something I would never.
We had churros at our zoo, at the Milwaukee Zoo, which also had was set up so that the predator and the prey were in the same.
Oh yeah, I think you've mentioned that.
Yeah, I think I did mention that. It was diabolical.
Yeah.
But I think Wisconsin took any vaguely unhealthy snack and just like amped it up a bunch. So we would do a deep fry. There'd be a churro. There'd be like 3, like a bomb pop, where you
I know
two.
bomb pops.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mama.
But they would do that with churros, like 3 stuck together, filled with different things. Like wouldn't even be recognized as a churro at that point.
Yeah.
So good on you.
But
Wisconsin.
you put it in your mouth, right?
Oh,
who are you to say not to?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I think if you could go back in time, people ask you like, what would you do if you could go back in time, Rebecca? I think you would go back to Action Park. When I deliver the goods.
Yes.
When I deliver the goods. Also, what I did was, we're getting a little more investigative. I was trying to find people that worked at Action Park, really at any time, but really specifically, and this is a lot of what I'm going to be targeting is probably going to be like 1979, 1980 to like 1986. So you can just picture those short shorts, baby. Come on. Oh,
yes.
mama.
You got
Feathered hair.
Oh, that
rock and roll
That
music.
shirt that changed colors.
Hypercolor?
Hypercolor.
Yeah, you're gonna get all of that. You're gonna love. So I found
Packs.
a friend of mine from back in New York. He told me, because I reached out to people. He says his brother worked at Action Park back then, and I was like, "Can you ask him? He'll have a podcast. I would love for him to give me, audio, if anything, or just a testimonial." Never heard back, and I think a bunch of reasons. Maybe he just didn't have anything to say. Maybe he didn't have the time, or for whatever. Maybe he didn't want to slag Action Park.
Yeah.
It's just for whatever reason, totally understandable. But I am going to include audio of another friend of mine who went to Action Park. I've been to Action Park.
I want to go to
yeah,
Action
so that's
Park.
coming up. That's coming up.
Take me, transport me.
Yeah, that's going to be, because we've talked. I mean, I think we always get into amusement parks, but it always is in connection to Disney. It's like, wow, this is not like that. They don't care about Disney. They're like, good luck living through this is kind of their thing. It's just like, good luck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice and juicy.
Sounds amazing.
I mean, it's gonna make you be like, I need bonus episodes. Where do I find them?
Yeah.
Patreon.com/GhostTownPod?
Yeah, that's where you can find them.
That's where you can find them. You have bonus
Easy
episodes
answers.
stacked up waiting for you to listen to.
They're just eager to go through your ear holes.
And there's some really good ones that not as many people have listened to.
Yeah, and there's some mediocre ones.
Yeah.
That-
You decide which ones they are.
We're not going to tell you what's what.
Yeah.
You decide.
And
Because you
if-
have the power.
Yeah, if you decide these are all pretty mediocre, then you're right. If you're like, these are all great, then you're
Right.
also right. So
We
definitely
work for you.
So check those out. And as usual, we'll have stuff on our Ghost Town Pod Instagram, Instagram.com/Ghost Town Pod.
Absolutely. What else?
What else is
Patreon,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've been guesting on
slide
podcasts.
into our DMs.
Yeah,
we're taking suggestions from you to do mini episodes.
on Fridays, listener episodes. It's we're getting a lot of suggestions, which
are.
everyone's been really great about. And
Absolutely.
if you have one, email us ghosttownpod@gmail.com or slide into our DMs at ghosttownpod. Can you slide into DMs if it's not sexy?
like a hot.
Yeah, can you do that or?
Yeah. You can slide in, but it's more
Yeah.
like a skinned knee. It's kind of flop.
It's like,
hey.
yeah, hey.
Hi.
I don't know if anyone's noticed. I like to give credit where credit is due. I don't think Rebecca has cursed yet this episode.
Oh my god!
You haven't. I've been keeping track.
You sly dog.
Yeah, a little devil.
I'm trying. See, you think I'm not trying?
Yeah, no, but
Here I
I
am.
know you are. We are still on Receive 2019. That's still your word.
We are. That's going to be on the Instagram too.
Yeah,
You're
so
gonna
you
see
can
a lot of that.
check that out. But yeah, sometimes we get comments or reviews. If you want to give us a review on iTunes,
Do
give us
it.
5 stars or
Do
and
it.
stars. Some people don't give 5 stars, and they comment on Rebecca's potty
Yeah.
mouth.
But this episode, you can't do that.
This
because
actually
I
episode probably
haven't slipped
warrants it though.
up.
This is probably the episode that probably warrants it, but you're not going to do it.
Of course,
You're kind of
okay.
this one
I'm
is
just gonna,
probably
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna bite.
Yeah.
It's a rag.
yeah. This one is going to be one that you're probably like, oh, it would make sense on
Yeah,
this one.
I might. I mean, now I'm self-conscious of it, but hopefully
You know what?
I won't.
I did I was actually thinking about this. So I did a stand-up show at Flappers, and it was. I think it might have been sold out. Nothing to do with me, and it was. And I noticed the crowd was a little bit old, a little bit older, maybe between 30 and maybe 65.
Huh.
So I kind of switched gears on what I was going to do, but I was like, I needed some new tape or whatever to
Yeah.
send out, and I was like, I'm not going to curse, and I really don't curse that much on stage. I will sometimes if it feel it's necessary, but I purposely wanted a relatively clean set. So
Yeah.
I think I got a little in my. It was great. It went really, really great because I think there's so many people.
Awesome.
But internally, I was like,
Who do you get to shoot your?
well, they record it
oh, they
there.
do, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they
I
do. It's
haven't
part of
done
a
Flappers in a very long time.
they have a service. And with that attitude, Rebecca, you're not going to. You know what I mean? With that kind of, you know what they do though is they'll show really funny comedians they have, like Jerry Seinfeld, and they'll show video of all these hilarious bits all these really great comedians do, and then I go up, and people probably like this. Well, why are you showing Jerry Seinfeld being very funny, and then
Yeah.
you're showing me?
On the tape?
Well, they kind of show to kind of promote the club.
Oh, so it's like a little intro.
It's a little intro
And
video.
it's like, how about this dude?
Yeah. And then they'll show all
Legend. Jason.
Yes. Who he tipped $1 on Uber to get there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's always like, I was like, why do you? I understand. Do that at the end.
Yeah.
Don't do that before.
Yeah.
But we're all working on things.
We're all receiving.
Well, we're not all.
Works
We're all writing it on a whiteboard, but we're not all receiving
That's
it yet.
part of the reception
Yeah.
process.
So, do you want to hear about
God,
Action
yes,
Park?
I do.
So, Action Park is it's notorious. The Johnny Knoxville movie Action Point, based on Action Park.
Just change a word.
Just change a word. So but that's how.
Gold.
And Johnny Knoxville is not from New Jersey. You know what I mean? So, but Action Park is so notorious that it is. A lot of it. There's a bit of conspiracy. We're gonna get a little bit of conspiracy. Okay.
Oh, this is everything.
We're gonna get a little bit of
Something
danger.
for everybody
Yeah.
at Action Park.
There's gonna be, and please, as a warning, we're gonna discuss underage drinking.
My
Which I knew. That's why if
My
you go back in time,
favorite.
do you want to meet the founding fathers, the Beatles, Betsy Ross? No, you want to go to Action Park for the day.
Yeah,
if you had a
I
time
do.
machine.
I want to do that.
That's what you want to do.
Stop Hitler or drink
Nope.
in the parking lot of
Let him
Action
do his
Park.
thing. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing because Action Park is just
We're just losing.
a.
This. I'm not even swearing, and we're losing.
Losing,
this
yeah.
one.
Go back to switch. Go to swear.
Okay,
Go to swear
okay.
to get him back. Oh, now we're back.
Yeah.
So Action Park is one of those places that I, knew about growing up. And I actually asked my mother, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Did we went to Action Park?" She's like, "Yeah, it was in Vernon, right?" You know what I mean? And I very knew, and I was like, "So it was in Vernon," and I just don't because I was when I went, I was probably like a total scaredy cat, just like now. So
Yeah.
there was things that I probably wouldn't do, but a lot of people I knew we all went there, and because it was one of the. We'll talk about one of the first really big water parks. And when you're in, if you're in California, maybe a water park is like great, but you're in like New Jersey, it's like there's not a ton of that going around. And
absolutely.
it gets hot.
Where are you going to go lose your teeth?
Yeah.
Where are you going to go?
Or find some.
pee.
You might find a couple. Who
we had a
knows?
water park that was very gross in Wisconsin Dells called Noah's Ark.
Was it
and it
religious themed or?
God, now that I think about it,
Kind
yeah.
of. Yeah, how could it not be?
It was very biblical
Yeah.
in nature, but also
They never let two men walk on that into the park at once, or two
no,
women,
no,
right?
no,
Had
no,
to
no,
be.
no. Same species,
Yeah.
same different genders.
Yeah.
So
that
figure
adds
it
up.
out.
Yeah, that
God's
adds up.
watching you on
Yeah.
that slip and slide.
Yeah.
It was very gross.
Yeah. So this is going to be no different
Okay.
than that. And the local commercials are if you go back, and a lot of people have done, like videos, and there's a lot of articles, like in those offshoots of like Jezebel and stuff like that, because there's a little bit of conspiracy in there, and whether something is true. And there's a lot of lore that goes along with. But let me get in. Can I get into a
No,
little Action
let's
Park?
talk. Let's vamp more.
You want to go off the Hitler stuff? You want to get back on the Hitler stuff, or what are we
do it.
Where are we on the Hitler
Let's do
stuff?
it. I need some water park.
So
in my
I'm
life.
going to be covering the parts that are the most sexy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the cool parts.
Like 1970 and 1980 to like the mid late 80s.
Done.
Because technically, Action Park still exists today, but it's not the same thing. Because the 80s, it's like 80. Think of an 80s movie, right? And the greasiest, crappiest part of it, make it a water park. And that's Action Park.
Yes. I mean, there's some horrible parts of these movies, so I'm going.
This is
It's a tailspin in my head.
yeah.
right?
No, this is
It's like a lot of like whoa.
yeah. This it's a lot of what should I say? A lot of like testosterone and puberty and like just bad adults. Yeah, it's great. So I'll give you a little tiny bit of history just to
Context.
just to put you. Don't want to put you there. Action Park was an amusement park. It technically still is, but I'm speaking in the past version of it. So and really mainly known as a water park located in Vernon, New Jersey, that opened on May 26, 1978. Great year. Tons of crime in New York City. It's like, it's so
every city was like real
yeah,
down its luck.
a lot of economic depression. Perfect. It closed in 1996 for the first time as Action Park. It reopened in 2014 under the Action Park name, but was renamed Mountain Creek Water Park in 2016, which is the name it went by.
They're like, we love this name. This is a fine tradition. They're like, nah, that's not.
Yeah, from 96 to 2013. Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up later is for adults that knew the Action Park name, great. But for kids, they were like, what is Action? Like, I want to go to a water park. They needed it spelled out. Like, technically Mountain Creek Water Park was more appealing to kids. Even though Action Park sounds so much cooler. But that's why they were just like, kids were like, I don't know what they needed really like spelled out.
Okay.
You know? Like, if it was called like Splish and Splash.
What element will be here?
Yeah.
Will it be fire?
Yeah.
Will it be smoke?
Yeah, well, that actually might be. So in the 1980s, Action Park boasted 1 million visitors a year. It had a reputation for poorly designed and dangerous rides with underage staff.
Yeah.
That's what you let CIC. Oh, God, I'm taking you there,
the
girl.
Recipe. I want to work there. Can I fill out my application and put it in a time machine and send it back?
And then just be somebody that was employed there.
Yeah, retroactively.
I mean, you might have a criminal record
Yeah.
in the future, but so what? Worth it.
What?
Lax age regulations when it came to alcohol.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right?
That's my wheelhouse.
Oh, you'd love that.
Yeah.
Which made the park run rampant with intoxicated guests and staff. So everyone's drunk.
Amazing.
Everyone's drunk. And I imagine you being like 9 and be like, can I have a beer? And he's like, only if it's light beer, son. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was the rules,
Yeah,
probably.
it's like, I'm a responsible person. You'll drink pucker on my watch.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll
I'm
pass out
sorry.
next to the pool, not in the pool.
No.
Don't do it.
And if you do on the pool, well, listen, your mother left me for a reason, you know? Everyone there's got to be divorced.
Yeah,
There's
no one's not
way.
divorced.
You have to be divorced.
You cannot be in a relationship. But
Why
you
would
were
you-
in one.
Yeah.
But we don't want to hear about it.
If you wonder why did I get divorced and you're at Action Park, you've answered your own question. I'm speculating here. Safety regulations, abysmal. Okay,
Yeah.
abysmal record. At least 6 people are known to have died as a result of the danger of Action Park. Oh, right. I mean, listen. I'm not happy that people obviously died. That's terrible. But it's like
So fun.
It's like-
it so adds to this mythology of this already like
because
train
there
wreck.
is a lot of with the mythology. It's hundreds of people have died. Like everyone's died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no
Yeah.
one lived.
Exactly.
It's
a
like when
ghost
people
water
like
park.
I survived like there was a roller coaster called the Super Duper Looper. I remember that was maybe it was Hershey Park. It was like one of those parks. It's like I survived that. It's like Action Park is like you really did survive.
Yeah, you made it out, and you're not damned to our park.
Yeah.
in a 80s underage burial ground.
Yeah. I mean, could be. I don't know. You want to know some of the nicknames?
Yeah.
Action Park?
I do.
Traction Park? Classic name.
Yeah, because you
Could
get some good traction.
No, you end up in traction when they take you away in a gurney. When your neck is in traction, you don't gain good traction. Your
like,
neck is
you
in a
fulfill
necklace.
your goals?
No, your spine is
Start of
in
that
traction.
novel?
No, Accident Park and Class Action Park. For
That's a fun one for all you
Yeah.
legal nerds out there.
for the you know what I mean, for the litigation crowd out
yeah,
there.
the lit heads.
So there is a site and a pretty cool YouTube channel called Defunct Land that has some great stuff. Definitely check it out. I was watching it and I was just like, it's just in heaven. But you know what? Let's take a tiny little break and then we'll come back and get wet. So we are back in business. We're back in. Do you got your swimsuit on?
I've got my swimsuit. I've got 4 juice boxes. I've got 3 wine coolers. I've got some Rolos. I've got 3 Little Debbie snack cakes. I have some corn nuts, 2 different flavors. So I got Cool Ranch, I got barbecue, and I've got Slim Jim.
Why do you have so much food?
Because we going deep.
Okay. Well, okay, so I want to talk about, there's different aspects of the park. One of the aspects is Motor World, and I was looking at Defunct Land, and they've compiled some really great video. It was one of the more notorious rides. There were these like metal battle tanks, and you shot tennis balls.
Cool.
What can go wrong?
Amazing.
Right? And you shoot
Love
them
it.
at a target, and then the target would temporarily shut off your cannons for like 15 seconds, or maybe it stopped the tank. It was like a penalty if you got hit. And what would happen is also you can also pay to be on the sidelines and shoot tennis balls from a tennis ball gun.
Yes.
So
Just, who has an eye at the end of this?
So the tanks would obviously break. Everything was garbage. So the tanks would break down.
I want to go to this place so badly.
I
want to bring all my enemies here.
The maintenance people would come out and fix the tanks, and the people on the side would just shoot them with tennis balls. And it was like you're getting. It's like, have you ever like got served like if you played like I don't play tennis, but there's a ball that will serve. When you get hit with that, it doesn't feel great. That's what you're shooting at human beings.
And it's more than a tennis. Like it's more than a racket.
Yeah, no,
It's
like
from a gun
because you need it.
It's worse than a paintball. I think. I am from a tennis playing family.
Have you gotten hit with a paintball?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Feels so good.
Oh.
So good. Because you need enough pressure to hit a bullseye in a metal tank. So yeah, these people were trying to fix the tanks and just getting pelted. It was just kind of like, you know, the what is it? The greatest game, the greatest hunt is man. Like they're kind of like this.
Oh my God.
So you're just like hunting human beings at that point.
I think there's something psychologically about shooting tennis balls where you're like, it's no big deal.
It's
just tennis balls, and you're like, poof, poof, poof,
oh, you're just hitting people.
and they're like losing their lives. They're like a mash of human beings
slipping on, probably slipping.
Just try to fix the machine inside while the machines outside go to town.
Oh, I love it. It's just total chaos. There is also there were bumper boats, right? Which look really cool. There actually are, but then there was like regular boats, but the people, because there's also bumper boats, like, oh, we can just crash these regular boats into each other, right?
Yes.
So these just regular boat, like kind of boat riding, and people would crash the boats into each other, and they would just capsize. So people were just like, it was
probably the dirtiest water.
The water is actually becomes like a really huge issue for reasons that I didn't understand. Yeah. There's a lot of things where I was like,
an issue.
Oh, this is so bad. And then there were go-karts. I mean, you got to assume things are going wrong. The go-karts, the fumes were so bad from the go-karts. It was so toxic that people were getting sick on it.
Were the go-karts just like on fire?
Maybe, but you got to imagine.
Fumes, and you must have seen, if the fumes were that bad, you must have seen just like a giant gas leak.
But you know, when you're waiting on some of those lines, you don't care. I'm actually going to interject a tiny story. My good friend Jay, that I've known since I was a kid, so I was talking to him about Action Park, and he remembers going, and he was on a line from maybe there was what are they, like tubes, like tube, you know, water tubes or whatever, and the line was really long. And what happened is, I guess a couple of, obviously because it's Action Park, a couple of tubes just had nobody in it. They just kind of fell, and so people that are online were like, screw it, I'm jumping this thing and getting in the tubes, right? That's what kind of chaos was there. But then they got in the tubes, and it was at the end of the whole thing, so they only ended up going a few feet, and then they ended up losing their place in line. But that's the kind of like chaos that there was just like, total like,
what?
Who's gonna tell me no?
There's no order.
No, yeah, there's
nothing's fair.
You know how there's like so many rules? Like the rules is just bring money.
The rules is no, every man for himself.
Yeah.
No one's looking out for you.
Yeah. Just good luck.
Suntan lotion?
Yeah. So then there was a so back to the go-karts. It wasn't just the fumes. The go-karts went at like a pretty like normal short speed, like I don't know how many miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, whatever it is. But they found that if you took one of the tennis balls and stuck it in the governor, which governed like how fast the thing would went, and you jam it in there, it would go like 5 times as fast. So people were sticking these tennis balls in there and just flying and just crashing into each other. And people are just flipping over. It's just, I mean, it's like Mad Max, but more dangerous.
So amazing.
More dangerous than Mad Max. Because Mad Max, they had like cages around their thing. You had a chance there.
Simple hack. You're just like, well, now I'm in.
Yeah. It's just like
cars flipping, people getting sick, getting pulverized with tennis balls, filthy water, no rules.
Yep.
Sounds
So-
like my apartment on Tuesday.
All you have to do, just fill this place up with water, and you have Action Park. And I guess bring some Slim Jims. I guess that's like an important thing. So there were cliff jumps, which are very terrifying. To give you an idea, I did a cliff dive. I did this thing called Tough Mudder. You know, it's probably one of the more
I
manly.
did it for a while ago.
Okay, so one of the things in Tough Mudder is you jump off a cliff, and I was terrified. Like there was like a Marine going jump. I was like, I didn't know
that
that
you get electrocuted.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I did that. Yeah, I got electrocuted.
Whoa.
Why?
Oof.
But when I jumped in, like I kind of just jumped in like jackknives, just jumped in whatever. But the pressure from going up my nose, just blood was pouring out of my nose and mouth. So I get out of the water and I'm like, it's just like this.
Andrew WK.
It was exactly like this. Somebody's like, hey man, you're whatever. And I was just like, I gotta keep, I was like, I just wiped and kept going. But so these cliffs were like probably like kind of somewhat like that, but it's everyone's jumping in. So they had one that
How
was
tall are they?
there's 18 feet and 23 feet.
Okay.
18 feet if you're a newborn, you have to go in the 18 feet.
Just like a feet, like you have to be this fetal to ride this.
Yeah, to be on the 18. Come on, listen, be responsible. You
Yeah.
can't go on the 23 feet one.
It's only like 5 more feet.
I know.
Not
It's
that
like one big
tall.
step.
It's like another me.
Yeah, it's like not okay.
not-
So the area that people were jumping in, there was a part where you can just like you want to just splash around. They shared the area, so there's people that had no idea that people were jumping. So people were jumping, not knowing people were just going to be swimming. Because you jump in, and you're like, okay, you swim, but people were swimming in from the other side. You're just wading over.
Yeah.
So people are cliff diving on people's heads because and people had no idea. So it's just absolute chaos.
Oh my god. This is so amazing.
It's absolute no. So the water is a lot of like how did people die the most there or the most bad thing? It was really the water. We'll get into that in a second. So just keep that in mind if you're wondering because we keep bringing up the water
Death trap.
You know what I mean?
Pay
It's
to
like
go into this summer fun death trap.
it's not safe to go in the water. Like is pretty much is the bottom line.
Oh my god.
So to give you a little like socioeconomical context, Six Flags
Yeah.
Great Adventure, which I went to like once, remember when I was young, was in Jackson, New Jersey, which was further away and more expensive because there were regulations.
Yeah.
The rides worked.
Physicists to come in and
yeah.
make sure that they were safe.
But I feel like anything in the 80s, like it was more metal and steel, but there's like less regulation. I probably didn't realize maybe like, the science wasn't there or there's just the threat of, legal action and stuff. So in general, I feel like, if you think about any fair or whatever, and you look at some of those rides, you're like, who is like, these all look so dangerous, but they
Yeah.
look so cool.
Yeah.
So, so Six Flags was in Jackson, which was further away. So what was closer and more affordable was Action Park. And
So how affordable? Like, how much to get in?
I don't know. I'd have to look into how much. I think maybe a 6-pack.
cool.
Carton of cigarettes.
Do you have any menthols on you? Do you have some hash?
Well, each ride it was 5 cigarettes. It was like prison rules when it came to like barter. It was like a barter system of
Oh,
prison
cool.
rules.
That's fun. It's very,
Yeah. A switchblade you can go on all
nice.
day.
Exactly. A bloody sweatshirt and
Yeah.
a sandwich, but like a Wonder Bread.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's in a bag.
So a lot of the guests were, usually you're a little more middle class, right, or from a lower income. And what happens when you're either from that area, you don't have access to pools, you don't learn how to swim. You have people that just don't know how to swim
you're
going
like,
to a water park.
Get on in there.
Get on in there because not everything. The water park was like the big draw, and that's what they really pushed. So you pretty much have the majority of people that have no idea how to swim, and it's complete chaos going in there. You know what? I'm gonna insert my friend Andy. He's in a band called All Out War. He plays guitar in a band called All Out War. Check them out. I used to tour with them as their merch guy, and their music is definitely goes along with some of our more haunted stuff. So Andy went there as a kid, and he remembers a lot. And he started telling me about it. Like we were talking on Facebook Messenger. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
pump the brakes. Can you expand on this?
me-
So he sent me he sent me the
yes.
audio, so you're gonna hear a direct testimonial on
Did they sell merch at Action Park?
Oh yeah, I think I remember having like a
I may
banner.
have to get you an Action Park t-shirt for your birthday.
Yeah, it's amazing. But here's Andy talking about the fun and danger of Action Park.
I remember going to Action Park quite a bit. Probably around 13 was the first time I ever went. I remember going to the Motor World side first that had the tanks that shot the tennis balls and the speed boats and the go-karts and stuff like that. And I remember it being really muddy and really crowded, not liking it, and almost being ready to leave until we realized that there was that whole water side. And that was really where it was at as far as we were concerned with Action Park. We had gone to like Great Adventure and those kind of parks, and those were great. But there was those rides were all on tracks, and there were seat belts, and it was everything was very controlled, and there was operators making sure everything was okay and all that stuff. And Action Park was a lot looser than that. I remember seeing people get out of the water with bruises and welts and cuts and scrapes on them. I remember the water being extremely cold. It was a mountain spring, so the water was really, really cold, and it was really deep. I think they said it was 20 feet deep on the rides like the Cannonball and the Tarzan swing. I remember you'd see people come off those rides doing belly flops or either hitting the wall, swinging back, and very little instruction to be doing this kind of stuff. And I think I was at an age for most of that where you feel like you're invincible, you're a teenager, that nothing really bad could happen to you. But I remember seeing people being hurt, and sometimes kind of thinking we were in over our heads. Probably the scariest thing that we ever saw there was that upside down cannonball. I remember being there a few days before it opened and wishing that we'd be able to go on it, but at the same time, even that young, realizing that it seemed improbable that I could not get hurt on that. How could I possibly go in that tube upside down in water and not get hurt? And people did get hurt, or at least one person. I'm pretty sure somebody died on that, and that was ultimately what shut down that park.
Pretty cool, right? I mean, it's just like hearing him tell these stories is right. It's like it's everything that we've said is what he said.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing the
lived it.
he lived it.
He survived it.
Because when I went, I was like I was young and I was scared and like kind of like you know what I mean? Like my parents, I guess, kind of cared what was going on. Like it was that kind of like that new like. It's the 80s New Jersey caring, which is like it's enough, like enough not to get taken away by Child Protective Services, but but not much more than that.
Stay at home for 17 hours.
Yeah,
just figure it out. Cook yourself a roast.
I don't understand. Three's Company is your babysitter. John Ritter is babysitting you tonight. The Jeffersons are babysitting you tomorrow night.
Sit down and watch, and don't touch any live wires.
Please. Or just some.
Please, don't put your fingers in outlets.
So I want to get into some of the more deadly danger. I've only been really talking about stuff that's like
it's like JV style.
It's
treachery.
Like it hurts. Like maybe you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
you get sick.
Maybe
you get a bunch of tennis ball bruisers on your head and eyeballs.
Yeah, maybe. But the tidal wave pool, which is super fun, but if you're not used to waves, I mean, you go to the ocean, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
The tidal wave pool is actually where most of the fatalities occur.
A wave pool? I feared for my life when I'm in a wave pool, and that's a safe wave pool. Yeah. That's one that's clean.
Yeah.
It's when there's real lifeguards there.
There's no GMOs in the water.
Not that I know of. No. But like, also they turn on really fast.
Yeah.
I'm scared in a regular one. So let's hear about this.
I mean, this
not
is
regular one.
Yeah, no, this is absolute chaos. Mm-hmm. It's like a 9-year-old designed this park,
yes.
And then like a teenager designed
Find that
the rules.
9-year-old and king him.
Yeah, and like a 14-year-old decided like what should be the drinking age. I mean, the drinking ages were what they were, but it was like very
Yeah, it's like that baby who smokes cigarettes. Like designed this water park.
Yeah,
just like hanging out,
just like chilling.
Yeah,
having a good time. So it was one of the first to open in the United States. So very exciting, and it's like when it's hot. You know, like you're like, I want to go to a pool. Well, why don't we go to one that's in an amusement park?
Yeah.
That's like
Those
totally
games
bonkers.
and rides, yeah.
And like I said, you got to watch some of these commercials because the marketing, it just looks like I even look back at it now. You're like, this still looks like fun. Even like looking back through a modern lens, you're like, this looks like so much fun. Especially when it's like super hot out. Like, yeah, I want to have some fun.
Yeah. But fatal fun.
Well, yeah, it became one of the more dangerous rides at the park. It was nicknamed the Grave Pool. The Wave Pool? No.
Grave Pool. We're gonna spin this on its head. What kind of journalist was like, "Hey, I got it, boss."
Yeah.
Wave pool. It's a grave pool.
Pool, yeah.
I'm gonna blow the top right off of this thing.
Well,
and they're like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, and he's like, "Why are we gonna name it that?" People died. He's like, "Good, run with it, print." The water was not salt water. So, you know, when you're with waves, the salt water has a
buoyancy
to it. Yes. So there's a buoyancy to it. And it left strong swimmers and non-swimmers alike, like over their heads in wave. It just, their bodies, whatever, didn't
What kind of a water? It was just fresh water?
It was fresh water.
Shit, fresh water?
Yeah, it was like just fresh toilet
Blood
water.
and guts.
The freshest toilet water. Because they would reach over 40 inches in height at like a high blast. So you're getting like that wave that's like an unnatural kind of, they're just like, crank it up.
Yeah.
There must have been like, the speed must have been like off and like die. Yeah. Like there's probably no like middle. Or they found a way to like really crank it up.
Torrential tsunami or
it's not off. Yeah.
Warm bath.
So there would be 12 lifeguards on duty. The 12 lifeguards on duty would rescue, on average, 30 people a day on high tide.
That ratio is... I want to swear right now. I want to swear, but I won't. That ratio is bad.
Yeah, it's like non-good.
Yeah.
It is non-good. So that's where a lot of people... and I'm going to take a deeper dive into the deaths. Don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you. But keep because that would be I think like, oh, the go-karts, you know what I mean? Like, cause that's like, you feel like that's like steel on steel, but it's really the water. You know what I mean? It is not safe in the water. Now, the most notorious ride there that is infamous, and there's a lot of conspiracy around it, the Cannonball Loop.
That sounds already like
the
I'm gonna
Cannonball
get tetanus,
Loop, yeah.
and then I'm gonna lose a limb, and then I'm gonna die.
The Cannonball Loop was an enclosed water slide with a complete vertical loop. So it just looks like a tube that goes like in a pretzel once.
Yeah.
Just once. And by looking at it, you're like, oh, what could go wrong? But it's the most scientifically dangerous looking thing. I guess like maybe like they had a kind of somebody who constructed, like, come over from like a week visa from like Amsterdam to like, I forget what it was, but they had somebody, he's like, yeah, I designed things, and he came over for like a week, and he's like, here it is. And they were like,
we trust you.
Yeah, we trust you.
We're good.
And he's like, I'm leaving. Doesn't matter. Pay me. I'm out of here. So there's a lot of urban legend that when the park owners sent a dummy down, like a test ride, you know, like came out decapitated.
They're like, let's test it once.
Yeah.
Whatever. Here's a dummy. Let's just do it. And it's like, what do we do?
Yeah. Did that stop anyone?
Also, how did it get decapitated? Are there blades in the slide?
It just did. Like the science was because there's no. It's not like there's no like either kind of like human trial. It was just invented, and then the patrons became essentially the testing. I think that's a lot of how they did things. They made things, and they kind of would just kind of like look and see, like, is that person
Anyone
really
here hate
beat
their
up?
Life? How divorced are you?
Yeah, and I think they kind of would judge, like, oh, how many people like need to go to the hospital after this ride? Not many. Okay, so good ride. That's really what it was. But there was no motivation not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll get into a little of the legalities.
Time.
Yeah, it was such a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It's a good time for us reading it now.
Golden age of death.
So that's an urban legend that came back with no head. Doesn't sound too far-fetched.
I'll believe it.
The owner,
'Cause I choose to.
Gene Mulvihill, he offered his employees $100 to test out new rides.
That's like Fear Factor.
It is, and that's like a decent amount. Make $100 to like
Test to die?
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
like
cool.
yeah. So that include the cannonball loop. So employees ended up with bloody noses and bruises, and so dirt and debris would build up. Like I guess like towards the end or in there, and it would act like a sandpaper. So you'd come out just your skin ripped up because the dirt, the dry, sharp dirt and debris that built up because it's all so dirty would just tear your skin up.
Oh, it's like I can't. It's like just run through shards of glass.
Yeah,
It'll be cheaper.
like we were talking about Tough Mudder.
Yeah,
that sounds
It's
pretty
nothing.
safe. That's safe.
That's the safest thing I've ever heard of according to this.
Yeah. So it was open technically for 1 month in the summer of 1985 before mounting injuries saw it shut down by the New Jersey Carnival Amusement Ride Safety Advisory Board. It's a big name.
Someone
now,
it's like, don't spoil the fun. Don't
I
stop
looked
the party.
at a lot of what people, a lot of people make a lot of claims like I wrote it. It's really kind of like I saw a dragon. Like what? I was one of the people that saw a dragon. Like deal with it. But a lot of people, it was there, but it was just always closed.
Yeah.
So it was, but a lot of people, if you go on certain message boards, they were like, yeah, I wrote it. And there is one video. This is like part of the conspiracy. There's a video, and some people are claiming that it's like not true, but it's supposed to, and it looks like a video of somebody getting in it, a couple of people getting in it, and it's like home video, like coming out the other end, like just fine.
Okay.
But some people are saying that I don't know. There's just a little conspiracy around it.
I like how it's like a video where it's like it's a conspiracy that they're safe.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's the fact that actually, like, it was open long enough because it was only technically, I think, open for like a month. And you know, people listen. At any point, if you're out there and you went to Action Park, speak to us.
God,
speak to
please.
us. Speak to us. We'll
For the
do a
love of
follow up.
God, my happiness depends on it.
Yes, we want to hear every single story. Dispute what I'm saying. I only went as a kid. I don't have
in that month.
Yeah, I know. I was there. I was born in it. I wish I was that young
Yeah.
to be born in it. So it was a 2,700 foot long concrete and fiberglass track down a mountain. Oh no, this is the Alpine. There's an Alpine, the Alpine slide.
Okay.
Because I've studied the pictures of all these things. The Alpine slide looks
wait.
really fun, but it just looks like you're falling down a mountain.
Yeah.
It's a 2,700 foot long concrete. First word's concrete. Second word's fiberglass. I don't know who's in track down a mountainside so steep you
The
need
blood softens. The
yeah. Oh yeah. It lubricates. It's excellent lubricant. Your tears and body fluids just lubricate the whole thing. It's so steep you needed a ski lift to get to the top because the place was originally like there was part of it was like a ski like lodge
a chalet
type
type
of,
of-
yeah, it was
okay.
that, but people really didn't know it. It really became known for this. You would get on this like tiny little cart with tiny wheels and a little joystick in between your legs to like steer.
It probably just steered you. It's like a thing.
Barely.
It's like this way, that way.
It's like you'll just go the way gravity's taking you. You have very little control.
This tiny 4-inch metal.
I don't think you
rudder.
wore any a headset or like a helmet or anything like that. They're like, no, that's
We can't.
only
We
babies 1 year and younger have to wear. And that's
they're
even
on
lax.
these smaller,
Yeah.
tiny wagons.
Yeah. So between 1984 and 1985, there were 26 head injuries and 14 broken bones just on the slide, just in the year. This is not this is not the whole like park. This is just in that year.
I love
and
it.
it's probably during it's listen, when it's New Jersey, it's ice freaking cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New York, it's ice freaking. You can imagine. So we're really talking about 26 head injuries and 14 broken bones, probably over the course of like 2 months.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Oh my God.
Okay. You want to get into the deaths?
Yes.
Okay. Whew. I'm going to give you the deaths.
No,
and-
stop. Let's stop the podcast.
Yeah, you want to see what you're talking about? Nice things?
beat.
Yeah.
Some tea.
Yeah. I'm beat. Do I have anything nice to say? July 8th, 1980, a 19-year-old park employee was riding the Alpine slide, which we just talked about. His car jumped the track and his head struck a rock, killing him.
I don't mean to laugh, but like, what? Is this hell?
Well, because here's the thing, it's 1980, so it's the park has only been open for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So, you really almost become like and I'm wondering if he's one of those kids that was like, yeah, here's $100 to like test this out.
I hope not.
Yeah. July 24th, 1982, a 15-year-old boy drowned in the tidal wave pool. Ugh. That's nobody knows how to even
that's a 15. That's like a 15-year-old boy. That's a strong.
It's a strong
person. Like they're.
But there's if you don't know how to swim, so you might as well just drop off in the middle of the ocean and be like, good luck, swim back to shore.
Exactly.
At that point. And even if you're a strong swimmer, you're
there to have fun. At least I feel like I don't want anyone to die, obviously, but I kind of do, obviously, this podcast. But I feel like I want the people to die who are there to like have joy and fun, and they like are in a moment of joy, and then they die. Versus someone who gets paid $100 because they like need the money and they die.
It really
not to cast any kind of tier system on these deaths.
But a lot of this really for me speaks on the socioeconomic, like who it really. I mean, it targeted all kinds of people. But if you had the money, you were probably going to Disney World or something in Florida or something like that, to be totally honest with you, or Six Flags or something like that. But if you're like a kid who's just like, I love heavy metal and I love complete chaos and I love cigarettes, like,
damn,
like sign me up. But it appealed to me.
Yeah.
And they play those commercials. So I'll get into it. So
put those commercials on the Instagram.
It's what really kind of, it's this, you're going to see like a cycle of like, I want to say brainwashing. It's not brainwashing, but it's the aggressive marketing that really puts you there.
I'm also trying to think in my head how much it really did cost. Like for me in my head, it's like, $15.
Maybe not even.
Whoa.
I bet you if you brought like, an empty can of Tab, it was like $5 off.
Recyclables, also you get like some kind of discount.
Yeah, I mean something
like
that.
At Six Flags.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, probably maybe something like that, something like that. August 1st, 1982, a 27-year-old man from Long Island got out of his tipped kayak on the kayak experience to get back on track. While doing so, he stepped on a grate that was either in contact with or came too close with a section of live wiring, right? For the underwater fans that somehow became exposed, and he suffered a severe electric shock, which sent him into cardiac arrest.
Oh my God. In the water. Like,
several other members of his family nearby were also injured. He was taken to a hospital in nearby.
You're electrocuting the whole. Oh my God, that's awful.
Nearby Warwick, New York, which I know Warwick. It's on the border of New Jersey, where he died later of the shock-induced cardiac arrest at 27. It's not like he was had a pacemaker and he was 60.
No, that's a lot of voltage.
Yeah. The park at first disputed that the electric current caused his death, saying there were no burns on his body. I mean, that's like a come on, get real.
Yeah.
He didn't say, "Hey, I'm dying from this."
Yeah.
Why?
So get off our backs.
Yeah. Like that, the coroner responded that burns generally do not occur in water-based electrocution. Interesting fun fact.
Yeah.
From a coroner.
Keep that in your back pocket. Next date you have.
The ride was drained and closed for the investigation. Accounts differ to the extent of exposed wiring. The park said it was just a nick, while it was closer to 8 inches of exposed wiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine any exposed wiring and water are probably bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, the Labor Department found that the fan was properly maintained and installed and cleared the park of wrongdoing. However, it was also said that the current had the possibility of causing bodily harm under certain circumstances. The park claimed it had been vindicated, although they never reopened the ride, saying people would be afraid to go on it afterwards. If I had to guess, if I've watched enough television, and if my idea of like the tri-state area or any area in the 80s, people probably paid off, right?
Yeah.
Had to have.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, to look the other way. Come on.
It's like there's nothing safe in this park.
No, you know what I mean? So
there's nothing.
It has to.
I don't trust anything in there.
Yeah, so for it to continue, and I'm just speculating. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to really like disparage like people who went there, or obviously were there. I'm here to celebrate it, but obviously it's notorious for a reason. Yeah. So in 1984. At some point in 1984, a fatal heart attack suffered by one visitor who unofficially believed to had been triggered by the shock of the cold water in the pool beneath the Tarzan swing. You see some of these videos of the Tarzan swing. It's like when you see like the gladiator fights and stuff like that. It's like that, but real. Like we're really just you're just swinging into things and just falling on people's heads. And the thing is, it's cold, fresh water.
If you don't get your head caved in at this park, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
You're not doing enough
Yeah.
to enjoy this $7.99 park.
So the actual like the cold of the water and the composition of the water, you know what I mean, had a lot to do with it. And people are just not used to being exposed to it. Like, how do you know what I mean? And listen, I go into a pool in Vegas and I'm like, oh, it's a little bit cold.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so you got to imagine the actual shock of being like, whoa, I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
August 27th, 1984, a 20-year-old boy from Brooklyn drowned in the tidal wave pool.
Yep. Okay. And they're all like able-bodied
Yeah.
young men.
Listen, turning on a fire hydrant. I can't think of the word hydrant. Opening one of those up
Yeah.
in the streets, like
Yeah.
I remember as a kid. I don't know. I do remember that, but I never got into it because I was like, that's not what it's for. You shouldn't be playing in that.
Rules are rules,
yeah,
kids.
yeah. As I
Not like
walked
you're a
past
kid.
the peep shows and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I was like, no.
Gotta go home. Little briefcase.
Yeah. In 1987, the director of a nearby hospital's emergency room admitted that 10 people were being brought in daily from the park.
Wow. 10
Yeah.
people daily
Daily over.
from this park.
Yes. So it's, I mean, I don't know, hundreds, literally maybe hundreds of people
Just
a month
10.
in a good month. Yeah.
Just 10
that's
people.
that's just a day.
Yeah.
Reported injuries, ankle sprains, broken bones, cuts, contusions, dislocations, and concussions. The park denied wrongdoing, but Great American Recreation purchased additional ambulances for the town of Vernon to keep up with the volume.
Whoa.
They're like, we got to cut out
They're
the
like,
middleman.
we're unsafe. We know how to make you spend your money, Vernon.
They're like, we need more ambulances
Yeah.
for this park.
Yeah.
Imagine saying
They're just on call.
instead of fixing the park, having more ambulances, buying more Band-Aids or whatever it is.
It's like Trump was already president.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the same kind of thing. It's like we're fixing the wrong thing. So you're probably wondering, these guys, they probably got citations up the wazoo.
Wow.
Well, baby, you'd be wrong. In this New Jersey Herald article, in 1985, there were more than 110 injuries at Action Park, including 45 head injuries and 10 fractures, but Action Park was just fined once between 1979 and 1986 for not following procedure. Once.
And it was for like, hey, water's a little off temperature.
Hey, this beer
You
is
don't have enough parking for the ambulances.
I know, yeah, the zoning for the ambulance parking. Some of this beer's flat, and that's going to be a problem.
I didn't find a cigarette.
So you can't
Or
tell
hit
me that like palms were not greased.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that.
Absolutely. 100%.
Now, Action Park, it's still, it still kind of exists in a way. And I think the Cannonball Loop may have opened in the mid '90s for like a hot second. But I mean, really, when people talk about the magic, I'm sure when Johnny Knoxville made Action Point, he's you're talking about like the late '70s to like late '80s. The real true heyday, the true notorious aspects of Action Park that really captured the 80s, especially if you were from the tri-state area. And obviously, you know what I mean? People write about it and talk about it like, from at least across the country.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Action Park.
Wow.
Would you be a lifeguard there?
I think I was.
Yeah. Now, would you be a lifeguard? Would you be a lifeguard there?
No.
You would not be.
You'd get PTSD for being a lifeguard. There.
Yeah.
Like it'd be fun in some ways, and then you'd just see like 40 people die, and you're like, I wasn't at war.
Yeah.
I'm a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Like I was a drunk 14-year-old watching a wave pool. The things I've seen.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Is there a support group?
Would you, if you were there and somebody's like, hey, it's cool to eat these trans fats. They're not very good for you. There's corn syrup in it. Why don't you have some, kid? Would you have it? Yeah.
Some bad.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that is such a delight.
Yeah.
to listen to.
I knew-
And
I was
I'm sorry
very-
to all the families.
I was very excited about this one. I was excited to do some of the research. I wish I had more testimonials, but I want to thank Andy and my friend Jay for.
And if you do have a testimonial,
please.
again, please, please,
It's-
we're begging you.
We're this is like
this is an emergency.
Yeah, you're definitely doing us the favor in this
Exactly.
one. We want to hear all your stories, and we'll incorporate it in an episode. We'll do a follow up because I
Yes.
want to do more of that, and I want to celebrate my home state of New Jersey.
You gotta.
You know, we sometimes we're chilling in LA, sometimes we're in our respective home states, sometimes we're places that we've been once or haven't been to yet. But we want to cover it all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely, and we do. We will.
No.
And more.
what?